Howdy folks, it's a little video on how we built a filtration system because our soaking tubes that we soak wood in for steam bending the wood would build up fungus and other stuff in them from the stagnant water. So I hope y'all enjoy this. It's don't do anything I do at home or anywhere. Don't do anything I do. Disclaimer. This is our soaking system that's for the outside. We use it in the summer only. And it has a drain on it. And we thought, hey, we'll use this one to maybe we can hook up a pool pump to that drain or something. And we'll make a filtering system for it. So we put some pieces on the top. These are just dry fitted. They're not actually in use. They're just no glued. And the different heights are just because that's the scrap pieces I had left over, PVC, that makes them different heights. So there's the little elbows and 1.5 inch fitters that fitted onto the T's, and we're going to use all that. And there's a black fitting. We decided not to use that. That's for a vacuum system for dust collecting. It did fit, but it looked kind of weak. I didn't want to take a chance. And that's a picture of it right there. So that was not used. So there's the thing mocked up. No glue, just kind of, hey, I think that'll work. So then there's a mile marker for the Monon Railroad system, and that's the Monon old train line that I went to Monon Avenue in Indiana, or Monon, most people call it. And it was an old railroad system in the 50s, very popular, and that's where I met the guy for this blue barrel I'm picking up, and I'm a railroad nut, so that's really cool to me. That railroad line there in that street. This is the container we picked up, 65-gallon food container, cleaned out before we got it. Now we got to build a table for a reservoir. So this is the beginning of the table. Old factory floor pieces we used from a building that was torn down in 1870, and made a table for this barrel to set up on. And these are the pieces we can't use because they're messed up and can't be used for making rims and stuff. All right, I'm making these table legs out of this old factory floor that's not good enough for making rims. But we're going to make it's pretty solid. It's just it has splits and things that don't allow me to get rims out of it. So we're going to use it to make this bench for this thing, because this thing has to set up so that the water level is equal with the bottom of those things. So the water level in this tube, this blue thing, has to set up high enough to where it's level with that, so when the pump's off, it'll make an equilibrium. The water in this thing will be the same level as whatever the top of that is. So if it's below that, the water will drain out. So we have to make it set above that. The bottoms of those things, right there, not up here, but the bottoms of them, will let me do that. So that's what we're doing. Okay, there's the stand we made. Those boards are still loose and need to be edged up. Got to put boards around the bottom of the legs too to keep it really sturdy. And that's a picture of what it's going to look like, kind of like a mock-up. So there we got the bottom ring of wood around the platform. And that's all done. We're getting ready to move it to the other side. We're going to move that on down to the other side where the gutter is back there in the background. That table is sturdy, man. All right, now we got the bottom rung all the way around and the top rung. Tomorrow we'll cut these and put those permanently on. And that's plenty to hold that. That's maple, hard maple. And it is not going to move. So that's our goal. Clear everything up so it looks like when you go around it. Some serious freaking wood. I think it's 1.5 inches for real. And so that's our table that we're going to hook up tomorrow. We're going to try to see which way's best, either hooking a pump to these or hooking a pump to this and there and let that water cascade. So that's our goal, is to see what's best tomorrow. All right, guys, back to work. All right, now we moved the table and we put a top on it and screwed it down. We left a gap in case water comes out so it doesn't pull up in the middle of the table. And that's one sturdy table. And we moved it close to that gutter, and we got to cut a hole in the table, which you probably won't see till later, for there's a drain in the bottom of that barrel now. And I got the top screwed on and leveled out. Moved it over from that location to over here by this gutter in case we ever decide to add some rainwater to it. And now I got to move all this over that way to get the other stuff. It is working. Pump's just connected without the barrel just to see if the water flow is correct. And everything's not glued together up here, so I'm waiting for an explosion any minute. But if you look down there, you see that the water is dripping through all at the same rate. So everything's working great. I'll hook up this thing with a T over here, and this will be our reservoir. It'll be connected into here, but the pump's going to be teed off right there, and make this a short thing until I can figure out how to better configure the coming from the barrel part. All right, man, it's pretty cool. It's working. Pump is on. That's the not glued up at the top. It's all still dry fitted, but it works good. Got 2 or 3 dry things there because we're still going to connect that barrel, and we'll put the pump sucking out right there. And it's looking pretty good, man. I'm surprised. It worked really good when we hooked it up. We're going to make a video about it, so tomorrow we'll do more. All right, there it is. Except the barrel's not hooked up yet, but the pump is, and it does work good. There's no sand in that filter yet. You have to put the sand in there. So many pictures here of that barrel and what it's going to be like. All right, the pump is on. Y'all can see the water come through each one of those. It's kind of noisy. Pretty good. The pump's doing really good. So eventually we'll probably put the pump right there, connected to the bottom of this tank, because the tank already has a connection for the main line down here where the water would come back up. Then the pump would connect into here with another fitting we got, and that'll probably be tomorrow. Then we got a drain out plug, and we can either drain the pipes out or the barrels out. We might put a T in right there just in case the barrel thing leaks or something. But it's pretty cool. And it's all dry fitted. There ain't no glue on it yet except for this piece right here. I had to glue that to make sure it all stuck together, but that's why it's dripping. It's still leaking. All the hoses are full. I don't see no air balls. Needs sand in there for a filter. That might slow it down a little bit. Yeah, man. It's working. Surprised it works dry fit and didn't blow all the fittings off there. My neighbor brought those fittings over. We were missing those 2 fittings there. He's a pool guy and spa guy, so he had those. Alright, so tomorrow's project is check that out and go to Newcastle, see about that nursing home for mom, see if it's good enough. Alright. It's like a foam cloud. Isn't that crazy looking? I don't hear any sirens going off, so I don't think that's a real foam cloud. But if you look at the sky, it's kind of definitely separated boundaries. If it ain't one now, it'll be one by the time it gets across to the other side of Louisville. Crazy looking. Now that's the drain for the bottom. It has a compression fitting where we can take it on and off, so we can take it on and off the table, which came out handy because it was dripping. And I gotta turn it and put it through the hole over here and connect it with the 45, but it's raining, so I can't do no more glue. But that's my next goal. Hook that sucker up and then put a hole in this thing and see if we can hook the pump to it. But it's raining, so I'm gonna have to put everything up for now. Cook mama here, buddy. Howdy folks, howdy. This is the watering system. Inside there is a pool floater. This is all connected to a pump. The tube down at the bottom is the drain back that comes back to all these soaking tubes. And this keeps the water from getting funkified. So floating chlorine tablets and not a lot of them, just a tiny bit, like you had a hot tub. And a sand filter's the most important thing. Is it'll let me you know, filter out the sawdust, I guess you'd call it. It gets in there, which causes most of the problems with it getting the funk. But that's it, man. That's the whole system. I only got one drip. It's dripping, which is under here. I gotta tighten that up and get rid of that drip. And do that tomorrow. But it's running. And the water's coming into these tubes. You can see it circulating right there. Okay, but this one's doing the same thing. This one's doing the same thing. They're all saying level, level. Yeah, this is it. Like I said, inside there's a pool floater, but you can't put too much chlorine in it or it can hurt you, so you put just a tiny bit of pool tablet, slowly dissolves. And we got flush out plugs. We can flush out either side or both. And pretty awesome. It's a 65-gallon drum. This thing seems to work way better than the other one I got. So we might get one of those for the 2-inch. The other one's dripping a little bit. Yeah, it's pretty awesome, man. Might be just the hand tighten bit down there.
Hooked up.
Oh, we got to cut all the caps to this size. They're a little just oversized. They're not glued on yet, but everything else is glued and currently running. No leaks. All the leaks down here have stopped. I got all those fixed simply by tightening up the gaskets. So there's no leaks. That's what the big leak we had yesterday. No leaks on here. No leaks on there. Didn't have a drip. I think that's from where I sprayed it earlier. Let's make sure that's not a leak. And that gasket can be tightened up too. That's not all the hand tight. So yeah, that's not a leak. There's no water on it other than there's rain and shit. Because I just had to fix all this. So there's water been spilled everywhere, but there's no leaks. And it does everything it's supposed to. It goes back, circulates. I've used the flush valves to save water on both sides when I've been working on it. This is all screwed down, so you can't just run off with it. This thing's all screwed down, you can't just take off. Oh, I gotta screw that down a little further. I can get my drill. Oh, there it is. So, yeah, this thing's kicking butt, man. Put this in here a little further. Oh, I can't do that so well. That's a 65-gallon drum. Got a cool chemical floater in it to keep it exactly like pool water. It'll keep all the fungus out of it. And that fungus hit me hard. Caused a lung problem, and everything seems to be better now. So we'll cut those caps all the same. Those will all be the same when we're done. Everything else is glued and running. We're going to leave it running for an hour. See what happens. All right, back to work. And there it is. The filtration system all works. We've already got wood soaking in it and using it. There it is from the top view. Yay! Absolutely beautiful. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe and watch all of our live shows too. Greatly appreciate it.